friends, neighbors, fellow YouTubers. Am I leaving anyone out? Right. Siblings. It is my privilege to be here today to be honored for having reached 2,000 subscribers. There are a number of people I have to thank. First and foremost, Jesse Coder, CodedLockFilms, who organized this whole roast in order to honor me for having reached 2,000 subscribers. I did this 3 months ago. Apparently, Jesse contacted the others long about October, and they conspired behind my back for about a month, filmed all their clips, got it all into Jesse, and then he said, okay, I've got all the clips, I'm gonna put the roast together, and I will have it uploaded within the next couple of days. That was back in November. He then proceeded to completely forget about the whole thing until a couple of days ago. Jesse, you really know how to reach a guy. Jesse and I have known each other for a few years now, during which time he still has not managed to pronounce my last name correctly. And it must be said that Jesse has a great many gifts and talents. It's a shame that punctuality isn't one of them, that's all. I have now worked with Jesse on a number of different video projects, including 2 books versus movies reviews where pretty much the exact same thing happened. I write a script, I send it out to him, he says, okay, I'll have material filmed for you in a couple of days. 4 weeks later, I get a Facebook message saying, well, crud. But I can't judge Jesse too harshly here because, unlike a lot of people on YouTube, he does actually have a life. Albeit a small one. He has a job, he has a few friends, and he even leaves the house occasionally to go out with his girlfriend. I'm sorry, I just can't say the phrase Jesse leaves the house without cracking up. Actually, the story of how he asked out his girlfriend is incredibly moving and touching. He made a YouTube video in which the subject of the YouTube video could make a selection of whether, yes, I would like to go out with you, or no, I would like to go out with you by clicking on one of the annotations. And I almost feel as if Jesse did this because he was hoping that even if she said no, she would still click on the yes annotation to see what the video was, and then he could trap her and say, ha! Gotcha, now you have to go out with me. In all seriousness though, I actually haven't met Maddie, which is a shame because from all accounts, she is definitely real. I mean, a lovely girl. And I look forward to eventually meeting this girl so that I can confirm for myself that she actually exists. But Jesse isn't the only person I have to thank today. He got together a group of my closest YouTube friends and family to speak. Proving once again that you guys really can't insult me adequately unless I script it for you. Oh, let's make fun of the fact that he creates alternate personas because he doesn't have any friends. Yeah, that's original. Honestly, the person I am most disappointed with is my little sister, Cassie. Cass, you had... oh, hang on, I have to adjust the aspect ratio. That's better. Cass, you had over 20 years of material to choose from, and you went with the fact that I was always asking you whether it was time to take you back to the hospital, Annie Warbucks, the golf club story. The golf club story? Really? How predictable. You couldn't think of any new material to hit me with? But since you brought up Annie Warbucks, let's talk about this little disaster for a moment. Cassie, of course, told you about my role as FDR going through puberty, and she told you about the fact that she is, in fact, more talented than me in the area of acting. What she neglected to tell you, however, is that because of this, she actually got the starring role in this musical. That's right, my sister played Annie, and my sister, as you know, knows the definition of a great many words, like foist. She has a very large vocabulary, but at this time, she was still very young, and she was still grasping the definitions and meanings of certain words, like subtlety. Seriously, her obviousness in the role of Annie was a little like watching Shirley Temple if she was possessed by a bizarre combination of Ethel Merman, Carol Channing, and Lady Gaga. Oh, and she had laryngitis at the time, so throw Kesha in there as well. So this is all to say, Cass, that the tape is much more embarrassing for you than it is for me, which is why it is well hidden. And it is very well hidden. I don't even know where it is. And I'm pretty sure it's hidden in a place where not even Cassie can get at it, so if you're looking for it, I would recommend looking in an area above 5 feet from the ground, you know, out of reach. But I should, in all seriousness, talk about her more recent exploits. She and I recently had the opportunity to work on a project together. She directed and I was musical director for Alice in Wonderland. But she was actually in a production of this a few years ago while she was in high school, and she played the Queen of Hearts. No, too obvious. She also played the overbearing nanny in The Velveteen Rabbit. No, that's still too obvious. The conniving and manipulative woman from Catch Me If You Can. No, damn it, that doesn't work either. Cass, you just completely resist subtlety, don't you? All joking aside, my sister is actually very intelligent. And she has a real thirst for learning new things. I'll never forget the day that she came home from school really excited, and she told us all, just really enthused about this. Guys, did you know that New Zealand is right there next to Australia? I mean, I just can't get over how incredibly excited she was to have this new information. Of course, she was in high school at the time. And her aptitude for quick, intelligent thinking started at a very young age. When we were kids, we were playing hide and seek, and Cassie decided not to hide in one of the two places that her bedroom actually afforded. No, she decided she was going to hide someplace else. In her dresser drawer. It was brilliant. I mean, I would be looking in the closet, under the bed, and she would be there in her dresser drawer, and I wouldn't be able to find her. Now, of course, in all fairness, she was only 2 at the time, and so she did overlook a couple of problems with this plan. First of all, the fact that I would walk into the room and see all of the clothes from said dresser drawer strewn about her room and somehow not wonder why that was the case. Also, the fact that once she was in the dresser drawer, there was no way to close it behind her. And also that hiding in the dresser drawer meant it was a pretty snug fit, and that her head would get stuck on the way out, causing the dresser to fall over on top of her, leading my mother to run in and throw my infant brother on the bed in order to go help her, which actually might explain 1 or 2 things about him. Speaking of which, let's talk about Jeffrey. Jeffrey, in your bit, you proved to have the great facility of language that, quite frankly, we've always known you for. I particularly enjoyed the part where you said, "So, yeah." Classic. I was reminded, in fact, of the first voicemail response message that you ever left. Now, for most of us, these are pretty basic. Just, "Hi, I'm Matt Guion. I can't come to the phone right now. Please leave your name and your number in a brief message. I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Thanks, bye." You know, pretty straightforward. But Jeffrey took his great talent for words and pushed his voicemail message that extra mile, and I don't think I can do it justice here. I really can't do it full justice, but I'm gonna give it a try, so here we go. Hi. This is Jeffrey. I can't come to the phone right now. Obviously. So, if you'll leave your, you know what to do, and I'll try to get back to you. So, yeah, I'm gonna go now. Bye. But honestly, it's little wonder that Jeffrey developed in this way. Growing up with Cassie and me and our verbal sparring, well, me more with the sparring, Cassie more with the biting, he just couldn't get a word in. So Jeffrey, at some point in his life, decided that the best way to fight Cassie and me when we did start picking on him was with obstinate silence. Jeffrey eventually got into the habit of just sitting down wherever he was when we would start to pick on him and not moving. Which, admittedly, was a pretty good strategy, until he sat down in the middle of the road. When they took the bandages off, let's just say he hasn't been the same since. Now, probably the most frequent insult against Jeffrey in this roast is the fact that his hair is a little out of control. And Jeffrey, you've already gotten it from pretty much everybody, so I'm not even gonna touch this one. I mean, there's no sense in beating a dead caveman. Sorry, a dead horse. And continuing with this joke would just get hairy, tiring, and it wouldn't provide any more hobos. Humor. And really, I'm a little bit ashamed of the others for going for the obvious quips. I mean, going after the hair? Really? I mean, come on, guys, it's too easy. Jesus. Oh, sorry. So, seriously, Jeffrey, no more jokes about the hair. I'm sorry, what's that? Oh, Jeffrey, I'm sorry. Apparently I've been addressing my shag carpet this whole time. I'm sorry, I apologize. Now, it has come to my attention that somebody else was supposed to be a part of this roast, but had to back down due to obligations, and that is my friend Jethro, Jethro-bot. And really, I just wanted to give him a mention. It really doesn't seem fair to poke fun at him since he didn't get a chance to poke fun at me, so I'm just gonna give him a mention, give him a little shout out, and you know, it's alright, Jethro. I wish you were here, but it's okay. I understand you're busy. I had to back out. And as long as you weren't the first to respond to Jesse's initial message and you didn't respond with something like, you can definitely count me in or something like that, then we're fine. Really? That's exactly what happened? Really? Huh. Alright, then never mind. And of course, I couldn't do this without thanking my very best friend and #1 fan, Alicia. Alicia, I know that it can't be easy dating someone who spends most of his time hunched over his computer working, especially when you yourself are spending most of your time hunched over your computer working. Nor can it be easy spending time with somebody who has virtually no interest in sports when you yourself are a big sports fan. But this is something that Alicia is attempting to rectify. Now, we're all in a relationship of some sort. I mean, Jeffrey kind of stumbled into his sideways, but we're all in a relationship, and we all understand that in order for a good relationship to work, there has to be sacrifice and compromise on both parts. And one of the things that Alicia ordered me to compromise on is my relationship with sports. In particular, since I have no football team of my own, she is insisting that I root for her home football team, the Cincinnati Bengals. Don't get me wrong, it's not that I mind rooting for a team that loses the game in the last 6 seconds, but it's just that I don't have the fierce hometown loyalty that Alicia does because I didn't grow up in northern Kentucky. What? Cincinnati's in southern Ohio? Yeah, same thing. But like I said, it shows fierce hometown loyalty, and Alicia does have a great affinity for the area where she grew up, and she loves warm weather and nice calm breezes and lots of hills, which is why she went to school in Northwest Ohio, which is cold, windy, and flat. And Alicia does demonstrate loyalty to other ideas, like how she was going to read every classic novel that she could get her hands on and review them on YouTube. I think she did 3? And as a teacher, she has a great devotion to learning and a great understanding of history. Seriously, anytime you want to see her in action, just ask her, anytime, and she will tell you every type of lightsaber used in the Star Wars universe. I mean, she will go on for hours. I love my girlfriend, and it's been a great 10 months of being periodically tackled and punched and having things stolen from me. And I especially love the evenings when we get to both settle down on the couch together and watch a nice, romantic World War II documentary. And Alicia is in fact very supportive of my YouTube hobby and often has a lot of really helpful suggestions to make. Like when I'm writing a new song, she'll ask me, "You gonna have background singer number 3 in this one?" Or when I'm writing a sketch, she'll ask, "Is background singer number 3 gonna make an appearance?" Or when I'm doing a review, she'll ask me, "Hey, you think maybe background singer number 3 could do this?" Alicia is my #1 fan, and she thinks that my videos are smart and funny and insightful, and I'd be lying if I didn't say I pretty much 100% agree with her. I really do love my YouTube videos, and it might seem like narcissism on my part, but really, I can't avoid it. See, the unofficial boyfriend contract between myself and Alicia says that I have to be a fan of anything that she is a fan of. At least, that's how she explained it to me. So she's a Bengals fan, and therefore I'm a Bengals fan. She's a Star Wars fan, and therefore I'm a Star Wars fan. She's a BandGeek8408 fan, and so I have to be a BandGeek8408 fan. I really don't have any choice in the matter. Seriously though, it's time to get to the gushy part of my speech. Thank you all so much for getting together to commemorate my 2,000 subscribers. Jesse, it's been a privilege to work with you on several projects. I look forward to working with you on several more, and you are an incredibly talented YouTuber, video maker, and reviewer, and I look forward to the day when you get the subscriber count that you so richly deserve. Cassie, you are and quite possibly always have been smarter than I am, and if you had started vlogging before I started vlogging, I imagine that we would be roasting you right now celebrating your 5,000 subscribers. Jeffrey, I have spent the last 20 years watching you grow up into the gifted individual that you are today. You never fail to make me laugh with your dry wit and your candid observations, and though I would like to take most of the credit for the way that your sense of humor developed, I know that a good chunk of it is your own. Jethro, I'm sorry you couldn't be with us today, but I enjoy your insight, your ideas, and your sense of humor, and I look forward to actually meeting you in person someday. Alicia, what can I say? You're my best friend and I love you. I love your intelligence, I love your sense of humor, I love your talent, I love all of the things that you are too humble to admit that you possess. And I look forward to seeing what you accomplish in the rest of your life. Thank you all, and thanks also to the 2,340-some subscribers who are watching. Here's to more reviews, more humor, and more talk.